If I asked you to name the movie that most perfectly encapsulates the greed and excess that the 1980s are known for, we would all agree that it's the body swap comedy Vice Versa. But if you want more bloodshed from your movies than just that one scene where Judge Reinhold murders a hooker with a chainsaw, then look no further than American Psycho. And don't worry if you've always been confused by the ending. I took half a semester of film theory, so I think I'm more than equipped to explain it to you. The movie takes place in the magical year known as 1987, and it follows hotshot investment banker and music enjoyer Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale in the first movie I remember seeing him in. He was in Newsies, but how the hell was I supposed to remember that? The movie begins with Bateman and his work acquaintances drinking at 11 in the morning, and they really only have two topics of conversation. Dorsia, which is the hottest restaurant in town.
God, I hate this place. Why aren't we at Dorsia?
And Paul Allen.
Well, who is it then? It's Paul Allen.
It's not Paul Allen. Paul Allen's on the other side of the room.
Are you sure that's Paul Allen over there? Yes, McDougas, I am.
They don't have a good bathroom to do coke in.
Oh shit, and cocaine. 3 whole topics. They are an interesting and well-rounded group. But Patrick only hangs out with them and his fiancée Evelyn because he's trying to fit in and seem like a normal human being and not a homicidal maniac.
Stony on the rocks.
These aren't good anymore. It's a cash bar. Be $25.
I want to stab you to death, then play around with your blood.
Now, this showcases the dark part of Patrick Bateman, but honestly, I've been in a similar situation, and I too was filled with murderous rage. I went to Cold Stone Creamery one time, and I wanted a chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream bowl, and the little shit behind the counter just stared at me like I was an idiot. Even brought over a manager who was also like 16. They're just looking at me like I'm stupid, and they asked me to repeat again what I wanted, and I said chocolate chip cookie dough in a cup. And they said, I don't know, we have something called dough for it. And I was like, what is dough for it? And they're all like, it's cookie dough and chocolate chips in a cup. Like, I could have murdered them. So while Patrick is evil, I kind of get where he's coming from.
In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now. After I remove the ice pack, I use a deep pore cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser, then a honey almond body scrub. Then I apply an herb mint facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. Then an anti-aging eye balm followed by a final moisturizing protective lotion. There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
Yeah, Patrick, you've been at your routine for like an hour and a half, but there's just one problem. You haven't pooped yet, bud. Let the distracted nerd show you how it's done. I wake up in the morning and hurry up and take a big poop. It's usually a doozy because I most likely polished off a 12-pack of PBR the night before. And since I'm feeling unclean, I hop in the shower. I use the Great Value shampoo to wash my hair. It suds up nice, but I don't leave it in too long because it'll burn. I then use my Great Value bar of soap to get the major areas, pits, bits, and the gooch. Gravity and water will take care of the rest. I try to eat a balanced breakfast that usually consists of an entire box of Great Value Deluxe macaroni. Or if I'm running late, there might be some peanut butter cups left over from Halloween. To work off the macaroni, I've started a sit-up routine. I can do about 8, but they're the half-assed sit-ups that I'm mostly just lifting my neck. After that, I lather my face with half a bottle of Elmer's glue because I look scary and it gives me a case of the giggles. Peeling it off is also very satisfying. And bonus feature, I can roll the Elmer's glue into a ball and sniff it on my way to work. There is an idea of a distracted nerd, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only a YouTube personality. And you can thumbs up and comment on my videos and can sense that our lifestyles are probably comparable, but I'm simply not there. And then I have the urge to poop again because for some reason, I didn't get it all the last time. And at the office, we get to find out what an investment banker in the 80s does all day. And it basically consists of showing up late, making reservations to the various restaurants you'll go to throughout the day, and lightly sexually harassing your subordinates. And once the heavy lifting is done, Patrick just settles in to watch Jeopardy. And now Jeopardy typically comes on around, 11 a.m.? Patrick just got to work. How long is his morning routine actually? Plus, the dude's making 6 figures and he's almost halfway done with his day. What does he have to be angry about? And along with mild homicidal ideation, Bateman is also a big music lover, and it's reflected in the amazing American Psycho soundtrack. And now, of course, it's 1987, so how can you not be a mellophile? I mean, hell, Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money was released the year before. Music could have stopped in 1987, and we could have gotten no more music for the rest of eternity, and we as a society would be fine, because we would still have the greatest songs ever made.
I'm on the verge of tears by the time we arrive at a spa, since I'm positive we won't have a decent table. But we do. And relief washes over me in an awesome way.
Patrick.
It is kind of worrying me how much I can identify with Patrick Bateman. And then we finally meet Paul Allen, played by Jared Leto, and just like other investment bros get confused for Paul Allen confuses Patrick Bateman with Marcus Halberstram, because they all dress the same, act the same, and they all have the exact same job. They are all literally vice presidents. Paul Allen gives Bryce his business card and then leaves, and we get another iconic scene as they all compare their business cards.
New card. What do you think?
Good coloring.
That's bone. And the lettering is something called Cillian Braille.
Look at this. That is really nice.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Patten's card to mine. Let's see Paul Allen's card. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my God. It even has a watermark.
And so Bateman is so enraged over the business card debacle that he goes into an alley and murders a homeless man and his poor little puppers. Now, this is where Bateman and I differ. I would never hurt a dog. Or a homeless person. Or a person. I just didn't lead with that because it should be a given. And Patrick goes to a Christmas party and runs into Paul Allen, who still thinks that Bateman is Marcus Halberstram, and Bateman uses that to his advantage and invites Paul out for drinks.
We should have gone to Dorsia.
I could have gotten us a table.
Talking about Dorsia with Paul Allen? Blast a couple rails of coke and baby, you got a stew going.
Evelyn. Great ass. Goes out with that loser Patrick Bateman. What a dork.
Oof. The downside of pretending to be someone else is you run the risk of hearing someone call you a dork behind your back to your face. And back at Bateman's apartment, Paul Allen is steaming pissed drunk, and Bateman is discussing the genius of Huey Lewis in the news while he prepares his kill room.
In 87, Huey released this. 4, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square.
And what's so funny is that Bateman is actually kind of a dork. So Paul was telling the truth. So Patrick murders Paul and disposes of his body and makes it seem like Paul took off for London. A private detective named Kimball comes to question Bateman about Paul Allen's disappearance. And what makes the scenes with Kimball so great is that the director Mary Harron would film 3 different versions of the interview. One where Willem Dafoe plays it as though Kimball suspects Bateman, one where he doesn't suspect Bateman at all, and one where he's not sure what to think about Bateman. Then she would splice all 3 takes together, giving the scene a very disjointed feel. And there was a rumored 4th take where Dafoe played the scene as though Kimball was Irish and had a lisp. As far as I can tell, they didn't use any of that footage. And Bateman invites 2 hookers, Christy and Sabrina, over to his apartment, and he has sex with them and then proceeds to beat the shit out of them and sends them on their way. And the next day, while Bateman and his pals are having drinks, Louis Carruthers comes over to show off his new business card and basically signs his own death warrant. Like, Louis, you dummy. Why don't you just tell Patrick you got reservations at Dorsia while you're at it? And Patrick is so keyed up that he picks up another victim at a club.
You think I'm dumb, you think all models are dumb. There's something sweet about you.
She is not beating the dumb allegations anytime soon. And the next day, Patrick asks his secretary Jean out to dinner.
Where do you want to go? Anywhere you want. Just say it. I can get us in anywhere.
Don't say Dorsia, don't say Dorsia, don't say Dorsia.
Dorsia?
Shit. Well, she's as good as dead, because Patrick will never be able to get in there. Although, what would Bateman's reaction have been if she said Fuddruckers or something?
Hey, thanks for calling Fuddruckers. This is Jimmy. How can I help you?
Yeah, can you take 2 tonight at, well, let's say 9 o'clock?
Oh, sure. We got plenty of seats here.
Really? That's great.
And don't forget, today's our Wacky Wednesdays. Half price off jalapeno poppers, and you can make any meal a combo for just $1 more.
2 at 9? Perfect.
All right, we'll see you then.
But Patrick only pretends to make reservations because Dorsia is impossible to get into. In fact, no one's actually ever eaten there. It's that exclusive. The next day, Bateman meets Detective Kimball for lunch at a TGI Fridays, and they discuss Patrick's whereabouts the night Paul went missing. And Marcus Halberstram was initially the prime suspect, but Marcus has an airtight alibi for that night because he was out to dinner with several colleagues and he claimed that Patrick was with them.
I mean, to think that one of his friends killed him for no reason whatsoever would be too ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, Bateman is the cold-blooded serial killer, but I think I'd be more terrified of being in Kimball's apartment. That night, Bateman picks up Christy again and takes her to Paul Allen's apartment, and he also invites his friend Elizabeth. Bateman then murders Elizabeth and chases down Christy and murders her with a chainsaw, and the next day he breaks off his engagement because all he wants to do is kill, and Evelyn is getting in the way.
Here, kitty kitty.
Oh no. Patrick, please don't hurt the cat.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Stop that.
Oh, thank God. The kitty's okay. This movie was about to get dark, and Patrick then runs through the city just shooting everyone he comes across. And he makes his way back to his office where he calls his lawyer, Harold Carnes, and confesses to all the murders he's committed. The next day, Bateman goes to Paul Allen's apartment, and it's completely empty and has just been freshly painted. And a realtor is there to show it and says that Paul Allen never owned this apartment. And Bateman sees his lawyer in a restaurant and asks if he got the message, and Carnes thinks that Bateman is someone named Davis.
By the way, Davis, how's Cynthia? You're still seeing her, right? Bateman is such a dork.
That's twice someone called him a dork to his face. And Carnes then says he had dinner with Paul Allen in London a few days ago. A dejected Bateman goes back to his friends, unsure of who he is or if the crimes were real or imaginary. And that was American Psycho. Now, a lot of people were very confused by the ending, but as promised, I will put my half credit in film theory from Gudger College to good use. You see, he was not Patrick Bateman at all. There was a Patrick Bateman who was a vice president of mergers and acquisitions, and he was a dork. But when Carnes calls Bateman Davis, that was a clue, because Patrick Bateman is actually Garfield creator Jim Davis. Think about it. It's all there. Garfield loves lasagna and hates Mondays. What is Dorsia's signature dish? That's right, lasagna. And what is the only day that Dorsia's closed? Monday. And Secretary Gene finds his sketches for a new comic strip he's working on. It's kind of a crossover between the comic strip Kathy and the movie Cannibal Holocaust. Ack indeed, Kathy. Ack indeed. And in a deleted scene, Patrick goes to the doctor to get a physical, and his doctor is named Dr. Boy. Huh? Dr. Boy? Doc Boy? John Arbuckle's brother? Like, it's all right there. I don't know why everyone has such a problem with this movie. And to get more of this amazing insight from popular culture, consider joining the Patreon, where as of right now, we have over 40 exclusive videos, and you'll get insightful little gems like this.
Centrifugal force has me pinned!
I think you mean centripetal force? You absolute dogshit dope. Oh my God, he was right. It is centrifugal. Oh no. The internet's gonna see that. Damn it.
Don't open any champagne yet, scrap iron breath.
Let's not focus on appearances, okay? There's plenty of legitimate things to make fun of him about, but don't bring looks into it. I would say he can't help the way he looks, but maybe he can. I don't know if it was voluntary that his face is metal, or is he made of metal and then the rest of him is like synthetic human armor? Like, is that his actual chest, or is that some sort of weird shirt? Yeah, I don't know. They make it back to Cobra headquarters, and okay, Cobra, your entire outfit was already bordering on laughably dumb, but adding a pink cape and a scepter, amazing touch. You now look awesome. What the hell are you wearing?
I found a trunk full of old Halloween costumes in the attic. There's even a pirate costume that has an eye patch. Do you want to see?
No, you fool. We don't have time for your childish games.
Oh.